media apps program in the last session of these topics. Today we're going to talk about how to use Twitter API to engage your users of Twitter users, and how to use Twitter API and then integrate to your mobile apps. But today we have a special guest from our senior. So without further ado, I would like to invite our talent students from the past years, the most talent students in this classroom. So let's welcome our talent students, Elective, to the stage to share her experience.
Thank you, Professor, for having me here. And should I speak loudly?
Yes,
or?
yes.
Yeah, so the first one I really want to appreciate it. I want to thank you because you giving me such a good training experience so that I can just do. When I'm doing my master's degree, I learned how important it is about the self-learning, how to be independent learning and independent thinking, and just try to solve the problem by yourself. I think that is the 3 points that I learned when I doing the master's degree. 3 important points, yes. So after that, I applied these points. So after I graduated, I spent I think it's around 1 month where just to dealing with my code. I uploaded all my code to the GitHub. That is the first thing. And second one is I opened the LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn, that is kind of the social network that you can easily to find a better job. Yeah, compared to the the and human resource back then. Yeah. So the second thing that I opened the LinkedIn to edit the people, so that I have some more than 100 cat hunter. They coming from
100 hunter.
No. More than one.
Oh, more than one. I suppose
one.
it's 100 hunters would like to require you.
Yeah, no. That is like more than one. The head hunter, they just come across my resume and they just say, oh, maybe I think you are a suitable candidate for this position, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I can introduce you some, like that one. Yeah, that is the second thing. I do something on my LinkedIn. And the third one is keep learning, because I didn't eliminate myself to I have to do this kind of the position, for example, I just only wanted to do data analysis, or I just want to do the machine learning. I didn't limit myself to do that, because I know this the most important thing is that this is my first job. I think some of the point is important for me in the first job is the first is my manager. They are really kindly and they wanted to have the freshmen. That is the first thing. And second is the culture of the company. And the last one is what I'm gonna do in this position. Yeah, so after more than 1 month I find a job, and they are really matched these of the points, so I just decided to take that offer. That kind of thing. So 3 of the things summarized. The first is dealing with my code. I uploaded all of my collection to the Google Drive and to the GitHub. That is the first thing. And the second one is going to be the LinkedIn. I think it's really important if you want to find a job want to find a better job or some special job in the find a special job. So LinkedIn is a really good way to find the special job. Yeah. So the last one is going to be just keep yourself, keep learning and stay positive, aggressive, competitive, so that you can get it on. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I really appreciate it. That is when I do my master's degree, self-learning, independent, and just keep learning. I think that is a really important thing when you do it every way. That is the important thing. Yeah.
What's your new company names and job description for your new career?
My my new career. Okay, so like the company is the agent of the gaming company.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a gaming company.
It's a gaming company. They
The pioneer in Neihu, right?
No, not in Neihu. It's like near Taipei 101.
In Taipei 101.
Yeah, I'm not sure you heard that before. That company is an agent of League of Legends and several just like
It's a startup company.
not kind of the startup. They just founded it at 20 early
2029.
29, yeah, 2009.
2009.
Yeah, it's not kind of the startup company. They are really like a huge company right now, yeah, because they have a lot of the foundation. But that is not the point. Anyway, the name is
Arena.
Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah. I quite understand. Could you please share your company website and your GitHubs or something? And
My
share
GitHub?
and your resumes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Share us.
So
Have some inspiration to our students.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how about I ask you questions in first. So like the first one is my first job is in Garena, and the job position is like the Linux system engineer. That is
Linux
like
system engineer.
doing the DevOps. They are
Yeah,
trying
DevOps.
to apply the experience of the DevOps into all the procedures. So that I'm gonna show my company.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
And second,
Yeah,
I can show my resume and
Yes.
my just GitHub for it.
yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Good. Very good. That would be fantastic. And you have many friends from the Department of Information Management, right? Because you always stay in seventh floor, right?
Yeah.
So they will be your best friend, right?
They are my partner. I would say they are my partner.
Partner. Okay. Good.
How can I use this? I'm working on it.
Karina. Karina.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow. Karina.
And this is my LinkedIn. So I think we.
Would you please enlarge the screen?
But I think I need to like find it. So
Yeah. LinkedIn.
use a free website, you can use
Check resume.
you can use resume for doing your resume. So like
Wow, you have many names.
I'm sorry.
What is your real name?
Eugene.
Oh,
That's my real name.
you change your names all the times, right?
Yeah, I don't want people can find your name.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm sorry, and I kind of show you guys my resume. Like I use this one for doing my resume. It's a really easy. They have a really good user interface. You can use that for doing your first resume. Like you can use that for as an easy way to show people like it just shows you point like what is my graduation process and what is my research interest and what is kind of the skill I had it and what kind of how well is the language ability like that one and work experiments and data analysis, router, something like that, honors, and the last one is design. A lot of things you can I just refer some of my friends, they are resume so that I just take resume of it. Yeah, just showing the point. I think that you don't need to show the biologic. I think my friend they are working for they are the human resource. They say most of the time they didn't just care about what you wrote it in your biologic. They more care about the point. So you just show it.
Okay, good.
I think all the things I know.
Okay, so when will you be on board?
I think it's gonna be like the first day of the next year. It's like January, 2nd January.
Okay. So your home base will be Taipei 101, right?
Yeah. The location of the company is near Taipei 101.
Okay, good, very good.
Thank you.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And
You find your amazing job.
yeah. They first I gonna do the Linux system, and then they wanted to do something. They want to do more better on the data. So after I figured the routine job, the routine things, and then my manager they say maybe we can do better on the database.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question for you. Are you still considering submitting your application form to the university in Canada?
I think that would be like the further thing, because my new job, my job, my manager is making sure that I gonna to like go to Singapore in next year. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure I still wanted to go study abroad in next year. I'm not sure, but maybe I will keep that as one of my goals. But for now, I think maybe it's not just.
Postponed? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe in the
Some more
future.
years.
Yeah, some more years. Yeah. Anyway, I will keep this kind of the mood because I was so hard to want to go study abroad in the last year and.
Or you have some experience for work.
Work
abroad.
abroad. Yeah, just the thing that's showing that I gonna work abroad in next year and in the Singapore. So that is the reason why I'm not sure still I want to go study abroad or not. Yeah. But anyway, I will keep that as one of my goals.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much
as
for
you
sharing.
say, it's like that is not one. Study abroad is not the only way you can just go out of Taiwan. So I think kind of the dream come true. So I really appreciated that you told me that in the previous time. Yeah, you told me that one. I keep it in mind and yeah, I really appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's give Ellen a round of applause. Thank you so much for your great sharing.
Thank you. I already told Professor Chang, so like yeah. So
I'm really happy to hear that.
yeah. But I haven't told the Professor Wong, so maybe I'll take
Take something. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Han to share her great story. Yeah. But today we'd like to talk about how to use Twitter's APIs and integrate to your final project apps. This is the last sessions for this course, Twitter API. Next week, we'll have a final project presentation and final exam. It's for final exam week will be your Teams app. So please make a well preparation for your final project presentation. I suggest for your individual apps presented next week, and in terms of your Teams app presented after 2 weeks. So that's my suggestions. So you can discuss with Sylvia. Okay, thank you. And this is the outline for today. Before we go into the detail of Twitter API, I have one question for you guys. Have you ever used Twitters before? Yep, you have? Yep. I suggest that you can register an account in Twitter and discover what the Twitters can benefit you. Especially, you would like to have some data analysis from the social media. Twitter is a good way to make a data analysis in Twitter data, especially a lot of financial data analysis. They consider Twitter is a good resources, just like a lot of news resources. So the topics for today will be Twitter developers. So we can register as a Twitter's developers account, and then you will go into the detail of Twitter platform objects, and then I will introduce you how to use Twitter for websites, especially for its JavaScript. So there's a Twitter for websites, especially in JavaScript SDK, and then you can use Twitter search APIs. No matter you are using JavaScript or Python code, you can use search APIs or RESTful API or Twitter streaming API to access the data from the data center of Twitter. So that is the outlines for today. So this is the examples from Twitters. So as you can see, it's like a social media and a lot of publicity or celebrities or news medias. They use Twitters as their official Twitter account to announce some related news or short stories in Twitters, and a lot of followers, they can follow their tweet message. So this is the examples of Twitters. So without further ado, please make a registration of Twitters. So please make an account, add an account in Twitters. Yes, in Twitters. Twitter.com. This is Twitter.com. So you can register an account. Right? You can sign up, and just like register your Facebook. So register a Twitter account. And you can use email or telephone. I suggest that you use a good name. For example, do not put any number into your account name, your ID. So make a good name, because your name will appear like this. For example, my account will be at iMyDay. It's my official Twitter account. So your friends or someone is following you can use your Twitter account at your account name. For example, this is at NBC News, or this is at Engage, right? So this is a good name. So please use a good name for your account. Do not put any number to your account, right? So have you, Emily, do you register already? Yeah, okay. So, how many tweets and how many followings and how many followers do you have? 0, right? So you may find some interesting to you. For example, who to follow. Maybe you can find some, for example, you can follow Starbucks, right? Starbucks, you can search Starbucks and follow, and you can get a message posted by Starbucks. So you can find some things. So this is the examples for the tweets. This is the story, the tweet, and some images. So the key point for this course is how we can get the data and how we can post the data from your apps, from your final project, and get the connections with the user base of Twitter. So that is the point for this course. In terms of how to use the APIs, firstly, you have to visit Twitter developers. For example, in Twitter developers, it's like Facebook developers. You can get the APIs, and get the data, and post the data to Facebook. So for developers, tap into what's happening and publish and analyze tweets. Tweets means like the story in Facebook, so it's a tweet, the short text, and optimize ads and create unique customer experiences. So there's the Twitter's developers in https developer.twitter.com. So there's the Twitter developers, and you can use advertise and publish and curate the with your Twitter's contents and analyze the Twitter's data and engage with your customers and provide a great conversational experiences with your apps users. So there's the use case for Twitter developers. And Twitter APIs, there are 3 main categories. One is standard APIs. It's free of charge. So you can use standard APIs to get a lot of Twitter's contents. So this is a standard API. The second one will be free to minimum cost, for you can get the premium API. Suppose your business would like to get more data, you can register as a premium APIs. Or if you like to get the full functions of the data provided by Twitters, you can register as an enterprise APIs. So there are 3 labels of APIs they provide. This is the business models of Twitters. So your data is, the content is king, and data is the revenue stream by sharing your APIs. So this is the API economics in Twitter. And for example, this is an example. I search the vertical equals news and the query is equals to Starbucks. So when I search in Twitter's Starbucks, and you can find some news related to Starbucks. So it's like the news resources. So you can search your focus, for example, like hashtag to find some topics, some important topics. So this is the examples of Starbucks. And what can your business do in just 140 characters? Let's take a look of this YouTube clips and give you understanding what is related to your business. For example, if you like to develop a coffee shop apps, and what you can integrate Twitter APIs into your final project apps. So let's take a look of this YouTube clips. Oh, sorry, we cannot use this one. Oh, it's not available now. Sorry, here. Twitter. Oh, Twitter to test our tweet with 280 characters.
Twitter testing out twice as much tweet. For the first time, Twitter changing its character limit, doubling it from 140 characters to 280 characters. Now, the company's going to test this longer limit on a small portion of users. It's not me. It's not you, right?
No,
We're not in this test group. They're going to monitor the response for several weeks before making a final decision. Twitter says it hopes people will embrace the change. I like 140 characters because it forces you to be succinct. It
Wow, the quality is
forces you to channel your inner Hemingway, take out all the unnecessary
We like tight writing here.
Yes, exactly.
So I
Right.
agree with you.
For doing
But if
business.
the president's involved in that group,
Twitter double character limits to 280. Okay. So this is the doing business with Twitters with short characters. For example, let's compare Twitters and Facebook regarding the official Twitter account and Facebook account. As you can see, this is the Twitter official Twitter account. This is under twitter.com/Starbucks. So this is the official URLs for Starbucks coffee Twitters. So your final project will be developing a coffee shop, right? Like this. So you can create two official accounts. One is Twitter account, second is Facebook account, and then link your apps into that official account. And so users can follow the Twitter's message tweets. So this is the Starbucks coffees, like this. So here is the tweets, meaning that how many stories they publish, and this is the following and followers from Twitter. So this is the Starbucks official site for Twitter, and here is the examples from Facebook. This is the Facebook.com Starbucks. So the important thing is, if you like to get the data published by Starbucks from Twitters, how we can use API to pull out the data from Starbucks coffee from Twitters. So this is how we can use this one. So in terms of the comparison of Twitters versus Facebook, you can see this is the Twitters.com Starbucks. There are many following and followers. So this is like the social interactions with its users or customers. And as you can see, this is the Starbucks statistics for its relationship between the customers or the people. For example, this is the statistics for the total page followers. So for Facebook is its pages, but Twitter's is its tweets, meaning its short story. For example, Starbucks Coffee announced some message like this. And this is a short text. And most important thing is it put some keywords or hashtags into its tweets, so we can follow some important topics from tweeters. So you can follow this hashtag or topics as a trends. So this is the tweeters comparison between Twitter and Facebook. And this is the developer, dev.twitter.com. Twitter developers platforms, so you can visit development dev.twitter.com and explore the products provided by Twitter. So when you visit developers or developers documents, here is the most important resources you can find is documentation. So under this documentation, you can find getting started with Twitter platform, and you can have a look of a field guide to Twitter platform objects, meaning that how we can get the tweets and users and entities and places from Twitters. So you can use the data provided by Twitter's APIs. But there are some important concepts related to these different objects or different platform objects provided by these APIs. So here is the details for a field guide to Twitter platform objects. So there are mainly 4 important objects provided by Twitter platforms. One is tweets, one is users, and entities and places. If you would like to concentrate on the content or the text analytics, you can focus on tweets. Tweet meaning that is the text, so you can do natural language processing in tweets. However, if you consider social network analysis, SNA, you can focus on the users provided by these APIs or these objects. So this is the users, meaning that the relationship between the users of Twitters. And there are also some entities and places, so we can take a detailed look of what this is about. So what is tweets? Tweets are the basic atomic building block of all things Twitters. So tweets meaning that all the important content provided by APIs. So this is tweets. Second is users, and user can be anyone or anything. So it is like the objects or social network analysis is nodes. So between users, you can find its social network analysis. So social media apps programming, if you like to focus on its social network analysis, you can use the information content from users. And there is also important objects called entities. And what is entities? Entities provides metadata, meaning that some information describing some data. So the metadata and additional contextual information about the content posted on Twitters. In short, entities meaning some key value pairs metadata. So you can find some important description data for some contents. So this is the metadata of entities. The final important object will be places. Places meaning that if you would like to conduct some research about geospaces or geolocations, you can use places. So places are spatial named locations with corresponding geo-coordinates. So if you like to find some city information, some attraction sceneries, so you can use places information from Twitters. So in summary, we consider 4 important objects in developers' Twitter. So you can use these 4 important topics. In terms of the first objects, treats. Treat is like this. So as you can see, this is treat with some name, username. For example, this is B. Sutton, Brian Sutorius, and this is its treat. And we in some times and some retreats and favorites. So here you can see this API version. There are many versions of APIs provided. So once you get these APIs, you can see this field and its annotations, and this is the JSON contents you can receive from APIs. So this is the treats you can receive. For example, this is the contributors and its ID string and the screen name. So you can see these informations by reading these APIs. So this is the treats. You can see these examples. And there are also contributors and coordinates. So for each field, for example, this is a treat platform objects, and you can see some important, for example, this is the geolocation coordinates, and its point is point. So this is the treats as reported by the users or client application. So this is the examples of GeoJSON, like geospace information. And here is the details of users. As we discussed earlier, for users, you can find some relationship between its customers. So for example, the users who post this trip and respectively attribute embedded within this object and unreliable. So for example, this is user information using JSON format to describe the status count or favorite counts and protected and profile text colors. So in short, if you like to get this data like this, what you can do is just use Twitter API to get a detailed JSON file like this. So this is the treat. Under treat APIs, you can get the JSON files like this. And next, we would like to talk about users. For example, there is a users called Twitter API. This is the official account for Twitter APIs. And you would like to get the user's name or get the details of the users. You can see like this. For example, this is the platform objects users. For treats informations for the users, you can see its status. For example, like favorite, like ID string, and its entities. For example, if there are some hashtags, it will display it like this in here, hashtags. So you can find the keywords from the hashtags. And this is user mentions. For example, I mentioned some my friends or some my followers or followings. So from the status of users, you can find some mentions. And under user mentions, you can find its relationship. For example, you mention your friend. For example, Emily, you post a tweet, and you mention your classmate. For example, Sylvia. So it's a kind of strong relationship between its social network. So this is the user mention. It build a strong relationship between these two users. and there are some reply user ID stream and include some returns. So this is the users objects. So we have discussed two important objects. One is treats, one is users, and the third one will be entities. Entities is the metadata, right? And the metadata meaning that it describes some important contents about its information. For example, the entities, you can find some hashtags. For example, the field meaning that different variable, the hashtag and media. For example, hashtags is a kind of array of objects. And the description is like this. For example, this is the APIs they provided. Hashtags and equals to indexes is number and the text is like this. So if you use this like the emotion icon or emoji, so this is the text related to this hashtags. And you have some medias. For example, this is medias, these photos, and this size information like this. So you can find some information of the medias from here, and some URLs. For example, you related in these trees related to some URLs. For example, this is display URL or expanded URLs for you add some YouTube relationships. So this is the third entities. So the things to build is reading. So let's stop here.